Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Spidey and his amazing friends. No, not Spider-Man and his amazing friends, the series from the 1980s. No, this is a Disney Junior series of so far only one season, 8 episodes, and each episode has two stories in it. It's basically tells the story of Team Spidey, featuring Spider-Man, or sorry, he's not a man. These are all basically 6 year olds in costumes. So he can't be Spider Man. He's Spidey. And then there's Ghost Spider, who was originally known as Spider-Gwen in the comics, who was created sort of by accident. I mean, she was made on purpose, but nobody ever expected her to become a thing, like a major character. But the Into the Spider-Verse movie kind of changed all that, really, a lot more so than it already was. Try to find her first appearance in comics, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And of course, even more so, Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. He's Spin. Now, I read Marvel Comics, and I have yet to see an instance where anybody calls him Spin. And his first appearance also is very, very expensive. Of course, Spider-Man too. Amazing Fantasy 15. So yeah, regardless of how much their first appearances are worth, this is a kids show, and I guess in order to keep things from being confusing to the 2 and 3 year olds who might be watching it, Spidey, Ghost Spider, and Spin is the best way to differentiate them, at least by name. You can call them Peter, Gwen, and Miles, but kids want to talk about the superheroes they like. So, yeah, it's not so interesting when you're just like, oh, I like Peter. Peter? Oh, Gwen. No, Ghost Spider. Because Spider-Gwen is not a very good superhero name. It kind of gives away your secret identity. Regardless, all of this is about kids in superhero suits fighting crime. and, and yeah, even the villains are kind of kid like. Rhino, he robs a bank, but he might be a whiny 7 year old. I don't know. Doc Ock shows up at one point, and she's female. She's got a mohawk. Of course, she's kind of styled after the Octavia. Yeah, Doctor Octopus, Octavia from Into the Spider-Verse. Kind of has that look. It's female, not male. Otto Octavius. So yeah, we get to see those in the first 2 episodes. The first episode of course, introduces the characters, but there's no dealing with backstories. There's no mention of any ultimate, yeah, or multiverses. There's no talk of multiverses. So yeah, they're all just kids who hang out together and play video games. And Aunt May shows up, kind of again styled after Marissa Tomei. So they're getting a lot of the inspirations from a number of different already existing properties from the movies, the animated film with starring Miles Morales, and of course comics. So yeah, but it's all the best parts and putting them together to make it something interesting and exciting and educational for kids who are really little. We get kids, basically the three of them, learning a little bit about teamwork in the first story, and in the second story, it's just Peter as Spidey, and he teams up with Black Panther to fight Doc Ock. So it's I don't know if they're going to rotate the second story main character in later episodes. I only watched one episode. I figured I kind of got the gist. It's 2 stories per episode, so yeah, 25 minutes long. Yeah, I really didn't have to dig much deeper, and this wasn't really made for me. I might check it out further episodes, but I have a friend who has a 2 year old, and friends who have 2 year olds. I know both of the child's parents, so they have a 2 year old, and odds are I'm going to be recommending that he watch it. Maybe I'll end up sitting down and watching it with him at some point. Gives me an excuse to continue. But yeah, this is not something that I need to, at my age, need to watch. It's yes, I love Marvel stuff, but yeah, it's there's neat little, I can't say they're Easter eggs, but there's neat little nods to different things you can appreciate. There's vibranium is mentioned, and Black Panther just happens to be at a museum showing off a piece of vibranium when Doc Ock shows up, and then Peter joins up. And his lesson in that one, he learns about patience because he's a little bit too busy to rush in and get into, first as Peter trying to get into the museum to get a good seat, and another situation where he's working with Black Panther and he just sort of jumps the gun and puts them all at risk. Of course, there's never any real danger. Even the villains aren't really that scary. They're just robbing stuff for the most part. Doc Ock wants the vibranium. Rhino steals gold coins from a bank. And there's no, I'm going to get you, Spider-Man. There's no Venom showing up I'm going to eat your brain like a scary 10-year-old or something. Yeah, none of that. It's all very super, super kid-friendly. It's cute. It's adorable. It's obviously, as you can see, it's 3D animated, so it's something that the kids already are familiar with all the other types of cartoons and things they watch these days. Not a whole lot. I mean, there's some, but not a whole lot is 2D. But a lot of it's big heads, big eyes, just very friendly, very upbeat, very colorful kind of animation. By the way, not only does the Team Spidey fight a number of villains, they also fight Green Goblin, I think, at some point, but beyond Black Panther, Ms. Marvel and the Hulk show up at some point. So, yeah, it's chock full of different things. Oh, speaking of things that were inspired, or maybe inspired by, yeah, it was inspired by or inspiring. They have a little robotic sidekick called Tracy, and that's voiced by D. Bradley Baker, who is, again, required to be in every single thing Disney makes. And it's a little robot spider kind of thing that hangs out at their home base and helps them track bad guys and do other technical things. But D. Bradley Baker, if you know the name, you know he's the voice of the Clone Troopers. He's the Bad Batch. He is the man of many, 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 many voices, and including human and creature and robot. So he could pretty much do it all. But yeah, whenever you see, at least these modern day, in the last 10 years especially, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel types of animated shows, D. Bradley Baker is more than likely somewhere in the credits. So, as for the actors who play our main characters, Benjamin Valek, my eyes so bad. Valek is Peter Parker, Jakari Frazier is Miles Morales, and Lily San Filippo is Gwen Stacy. So yeah, it's a good chunk of. I think Carrie Walgren shows up at one point also. You might know her. She's done a lot of voices over the years. But yeah, it's a kids show. It's not something I recommend that you adults need to just rush out and watch. But if you got little kids, seriously, you want to get them interested in Spidey, really young. This is it. This is the way you do it. So, yeah, it's good fun little lessons, and it's just it should keep their eyeballs locked on for at least 25 minutes at a time. So, let's pick tomorrow's episode.
58.
What do we got? 58. Oh, okay. I know what this is. We're in the bees. Okay. We're gonna watch it. Hopefully it's still on here. It's the kind of thing that, I mean, sometimes when these things are music based, I think they disappear. Like, I think Taylor Swift had something on here for a while, and I don't think it's on anymore. I don't know. And I think Billie Eilish just did a thing. I think this is a Beyonce thing. Black is King. Black is King. I have a feeling that's what this is. I think it's a Beyonce thing. I could be wrong, but we're going to find out tomorrow. Black is King on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you then.